This show is clean.
Aww.
Pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 747. Hi, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California today. We hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, plus the return of the much-loved segment News Random, where we look at some recent interesting stories from the world of science. And Facebook is doing something that is going to help your life be a little bit easier. But no planes.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
On today's show, even though it is episode 747, which I've flown many. Why should I explain?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
How should I explain when there are few words I can choose? You know what? The last show was something that it did amuse because Floyd the Floorman ripped off all of his clothes because he wants to be a nude model now, and the rest of us wish that he be indisposed because we don't want to see his naked, perfect body.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
You see, I did sort of a compliment, backhanded insult type thing. I get a lot of that, and I'm a nice guy.
Mike's
I don't deserve that.
Daily
I'm nice, so
Podcast.
why do people treat me like crap? I don't do harm to anyone. I am like a Google. Well, maybe not a Google, but supposedly that's what their slogan is. Yet still, people treat me with the utmost disrespect. So what do? I cut them off. I let them be. Because apparently, I'm not good enough for their world, so bye-bye. Hey, look who just walked in. Hi, Mark. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing?
And it's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
I really do not want to see Floyd the floor man naked.
Don't you mean naked?
Yeah, but I've worked on saying that word the way everybody else says it, so now I say naked.
But I liked it when you used to say naked.
Those days are gone.
Oh well, look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. I make the root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, boy.
Brewmaster, what's root beer you made today?
Mike, I made a delicious root beer that you can drink during the hot summer days. Or if you get rained on at Burning Man.
That is the peak of irony. Burning Man gets rained out, and there's a drought going on. So strange. God is having a whole heck of a lot of fun with us humans.
Wow, Mike, you got all religious all of a sudden.
I sure did. Okay. Hey, so I don't get this. I have not had facial hair on my face now for over a year. It's been over a year. I remember telling you on this podcast that I had shaved my face, and I told you that I had a goatee. Yes, goatees are so douchey, and I had one for over 20 years. I think like 25 years. But back when I first started wearing them, they weren't douchey, they were artsy and cool. But over the years, they've become less and less nice. And getting older, my goatee is turning uber gray. And right now, if I grow a goatee, it actually has that kind of skunk look to it with the gray stripes in it. And I'm not about to buy a Harley or a leather vest or get tattoos. So I thought, hey, I'm shaving that bitch off.
Well, Mike, you're using a lot of language today.
I met a female dog. Yeah, that's a female dog. And then the other word I said, that's a French word. Now, if you read the blog, look at the podcast picture, look at any of my Facebook feed, you will see that I post pictures quite often of myself because this thing is called Facebook, and I guess it requires you to have a face to be on it and to show that you have a face. So I don't understand why Facebook friends, people I have known for a long time, who have been Facebook friends with me for a long time, when they meet me in person, they are still shocked that I have shaved off my goatee, and it's been more than a year. And that only says to me that these people do not give a crap about me. He invented the toilet. Crapper. And that's that's inexcusable, because I read everybody's timelines. I read everybody pops up in my news feed, unless Facebook has decided not to put me in anybody's news feed, which is interesting because then this story came up today. So I have a very cool story. Want to hear it? Don't encourage me. Those things on Facebook that do appear in news feeds that are so annoying, they're those things called clickbait, which actually means bait and switch. It's not what's advertised. Like new information on Mariah Carey's divorce, or a video with content you simply won't believe, or how someone lost 30 pounds in 30 days. Now, what Facebook has done is they've cut down on useless links in your news feed. This according to PCMag.com. Khalid El-Arini, a Facebook research scientist, and product specialist Joyce Tang have said that we are making 2 updates. The first to reduce clickbaiting headlines, and the second to help people see links shared on Facebook in the best format. Now, this is interesting. To determine if a story is clickbait, Facebook's approach is twofold. First, it examines how long people are staying on stories they clicked on via the news feed. If they click through to a link and then come straight back to Facebook, it suggests that they didn't find something that they wanted. With this update, Facebook says we will start taking into account whether people tend to spend time away from Facebook after clicking a link, or whether they tend to come straight back to newsfeed when we rank stories with links in them. So I guess this is the times that we're glad Facebook just flaunts our privacy. Meanwhile, Facebook will also take into account whether people are commenting on and sharing certain comment. If a lot of people click on the link, but relatively few people click like or comment on the story when they return to Facebook, this also suggests that people didn't click through to something that was valuable to them. Facebook is also going to prioritize links in the link format and show fewer links shared in captions or status updates. They said the changes will likely only affect a small set of publishers who are frequently posting links with clickbait headlines. Are you happy about that change? Are you upset at people that don't ever read your timeline and then they're surprised? Like, you've been posting all these pictures of your newborn baby, and then you get a comment from them, or you see them in person and they're like, "Oh, you have a kid? Oh, you were pregnant? Where the hell were you? I was posting all these pictures on Facebook. Dang." And are you just done with people that take advantage of your niceness? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show too, or if you'd like to sponsor the show, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We also have the website, MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com, with, yes, the podcast picture, which sometimes features me and or guests that I have on the show, or interesting places, nice scenery shots, cartoons, all kinds of things. You can find that at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. The blog is there too, all my past interviews, and a bunch of cool links to interesting things like where to find us on iTunes. Rate and comment the show. That helps our ranking in iTunes if you do that. There's also the Facebook page. Like the Facebook page, and when I post a new show, share it with your friends. More people find out about us that way too. There's also links to where to find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spreaker, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Yelp, Tumblr, Twitter. And don't forget the Amazon deal of the day at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Click on that and buy something at a great discount, and that helps us out too. All there at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
News Random.
Hey, we got some interesting stories here. Randomly, I will submit them to you. It's News Random, and it is some stories that have to do with the world of technology and science.
Welcome, sulfur dioxide. Hello, carbon monoxide. The air is everywhere.
Berkeley's Community Environmental Advisory Commission recently approved the concept of stickers to be placed on gas pump handles that warn drivers that greenhouse gases such as those emitted from automobile tailpipes contribute to global warming. If it makes sense to warn that cigarette smoking increases the likelihood of developing lung cancer, then why not remind drivers that by using fossil fuels, they're increasing the planet's temperature and volatility? This according to the San Francisco Bay Guardian. Well, the campaign is led by 350 Bay Area. 350 Bay Area, a grassroots environmental organization affiliated with 350.org, a global climate movement. Well, there was the nearly 3 years of legal battles with the mobile phone industry group CTIA over a San Francisco law passed in 2011 that had required every store selling cell phones in the city to display the specific absorption rate of radiation expected from each phone model. CTIA took San Francisco all the way to the Ninth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals, saying the law interfered with their free speech rights. And it won. Finally, last May, San Francisco gave in and killed the warning. Yet the San Francisco public might not mind a gentle push. Right now, the campaign, the only one in the country with political traction, is parallel to a Toronto campaign called Our Horizon. 350 Bay Area takes heed from failed attempts by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to pursue graphic cigarette warning labels. Right now, thanks to tobacco advocates who've aggressively protected their free speech rights, warnings on U.S. cigarette packaging are tame. But if you go to Canada for a smoke, you'll find packaging where the least graphic image is of a gentle crib that's followed by information about the connection between smoking and sudden infant death syndrome. Berkeley could opt for similar hardcore carbon emissions warnings. Instead, the Berkeley warning sticker is hot pink, and the letters shout, "Global Warming Alert," followed by a pastel blue that informs drivers with the gentle nudge of a concerned parent, "Burning gasoline emits CO2. The city of Berkeley cares about global warming." Then there's a picture of a cute little car emitting a cloud of murky CO2. Western States Petroleum Associates President Catherine H. Rice Boyd isn't pleased. She issued a letter to the advisory committee just as tobacco lobbyists argued that cigarette warnings are forced and therefore not free speech. Rice Boyd ignores the global warning debate and instead focuses on the U.S. Constitution. Quote, "Far less restrictive means exist to disseminate this information to the general public without imposing onerous restrictions on business and forced unwanted speech in violation of the First Amendment," she says. Music has magical powers, and that's what Google believes. Google is fine-tuning its digital music strategy with the acquisition of Songza, a service that creates soundtracks tailored for people's changing moods. I have that app on my phone, or I did. I had to delete it so I could put on the latest update from iPhone, for the iPhone, from iTunes, and it's, you know how Mac works. If you don't have enough memory, it's not going to load. Anyway, this article is from the Daily Journal out of the peninsula in the Bay Area. The prize is considered to be too small to affect Google Inc., which ended March with $59 billion in cash. The acquisition highlights the growing importance of services that customize playlists as more people listen to music through internet connections on their smartphones, tablets, and personal computers. Apple Inc. is buying headphone makers Beats Electronics for $3 billion, largely because it prizes the song-picking prowess of a digital music service that Beats has been building. The music service combines automated formulas with the expertise of a team led by Beats co-founders, longtime record industry executive Jimmy Iovine and hip-hop producer and rapper Dr. Dre. Amazon.com Inc. also recently rolled out a music streaming service that is part the company's $99 per dollar $99 per year Prime package. Those two technology powerhouses, along with Google, are trying to topple the early leaders in music streaming, Pandora Media Inc., out of Oakland, and Spotify. No immediate changes will occur at Songza, which makes applications for Apple's iPhone, iPad, and devices running on Google's Android software. Quote, "We can't think of a better company to join in our quest to provide the perfect soundtrack for everything you do," said Songza in a post announcing their sale. Google plans to blend Songza's technology into its own music streaming service, which costs $10 per month. Songza's tools also might be used to recommend musical videos at Google's YouTube site, which is preparing to introduce a subscription option too.
I'm Popeye the Sailor. Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm drunk with the finish.
Oh, Popeye. State water agencies are serious about stopping the colonization of 27 lakes and reservoirs in California by invasive mussels that rob native marine organisms of oxygen. And that's why they've added Popeye, a 5-year-old chocolate lab, and other specifically trained dogs to the corps of inspectors who patrol docks and boats, searching out the mussels so they can be harvested and destroyed. This according to Beowulf newspaper. Popeye's trainer, Debbie Deshawn, saturated his favorite toy with the smell of the mussels before hiding it for him to find. Now the dog associates the sniffing out of the scent with play and pleasure. He absolutely lives to sniff, says Debbie. Brad Sherwood of the Sonoma County Water Agency here in the Bay Area said dogs are increasingly being called upon for the job because they are so good at it. Their olfactory powers are far sharper than those of humans, making them faster and more efficient. Popeye can sniff a boat in 30 seconds and detect a mussel, Sherwood said. It takes 10 to 15 minutes for humans to do that. The invasive European shellfish are quagga and zebra mussels, first found in California in 2008. Oh, Lassie. Since 1996, the National Disaster Search Dog Foundation has given shelter dogs the chance for a new leash on life. The nonprofit trains dogs and their firefighter partners to find people buried beneath the rubble of disasters. To date, the SDF has trained 150 dogs and deployed to 107 local, national, and international disasters. SDF first provided canine disaster search teams to the Bay Area in 2004. Those teams responded to Hurricane Katrina and Rita in 2005 and numerous local building collapses and missing person searches since then. In 2015, a new generation of dogs will be partnered with Bay Area firefighters at no cost to their departments. Well, how do they do it? The candidates, dog candidates, canine candidates, complete training in about 8 months and are then paired with firefighter handlers who will be their partners for the rest of the life of the dog. The human-canine bond is the solid foundation for a successful career in which handler and search dogs are together 24/7, whether at home, at the fire station, in training, or deployed to a disaster. And you can find out more about this wonderful organization at searchdogfoundation.org.
As Jeff Miller, George Cleveland as Gramps, and, of course, Lassie.
And, of course, Lassie. As we go outside of the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The picture is of Lassie. Actually, no, his name is Basil. My boxer, we were in Santa Cruz, and he just loves to go to the beach. Every dog loves to go to the beach, and so there's a picture of us there in lovely Santa Cruz. Love going there. Best time to go to Santa Cruz is if you can manage it during the week. Because on the weekend, it is insane to get over there from the Bay Area. Just takes forever. So that's their MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Mike, I sure want to go to the beach with y'all sometime. Do you wear a bikini? No, I prefer to call it a swimsuit. Why? Because it's not like a two-piece? No, it's a two-piece. So you can call it a bikini? No, it's a swimsuit. All right. Why? Are you modest? I'm so modest, Mike. In fact, I wear my cowboy hat when we go to the beach so I don't get skin cancer. Wonderful. I love that you shouted that horrible disease so loud in my ear. You're welcome. Next show, it is going to be a cool guest. We've actually had him on earlier this year, but he's got a new album, and we're going to hear songs from that. And we're going to talk to the wonderful singer-songwriter KYE ALFRED HILLIG. He's got a new album called The BUDDHIST coming out. Plus, we'll hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. I'm going to go on Facebook and not look at anything Mike posts. Hey, that's the same activity the rest of the world is doing.